Greetings, this is Amy Wentley with Chime Knuckles Knitting, and this is episode 2026. Brioche Workshop, Brioche Twisted Headband, Setup Rows wrong side A and wrong side B. This is a series of 5 videos for a workshop at the Hillsborough Yarn Shop. And this is the first video. It's the Setup Rows wrong side A and wrong side B. The second video is row 1A and row 1B. And the third video is row 2A and 2B. The A and the B signify the colors. This is 2-color brioche. So this is color A, the white that I'm using, and this is color gray that I'm using for B. Okay, the pattern starts off with casting on a certain number of stitches. For this demonstration, I cast on 13 for the smallest size. I cast on using the long tail cast on. And this is nice because when you turn the long tail cast on to work the next row, you're really looking at a wrong side row. And so we're working on a wrong side row in the pattern here. So that's a good fit. So I'm going to go ahead and show you how to do these setup rows. You only have to do the setup rows once. After that, you'll repeat rows 1 and 2, and you'll do that over and over again, and that sets up the brioche pattern. But you need to set up a couple of rows first that you won't ever do again. I'm going to demonstrate partly using the English throwing, the right hand method of knitting, and I'll do the second part doing continental, holding the yarn in the left hand, so everybody can kind of see it from their perspective. And I'll try to do this slowly for you, and I'll explain as I go along. So this is set up wrong side A. This is color A, and this is the wrong side. The first stitch is a knit stitch, so I will work that first stitch. The second stitch is a slip 1 yarn over, and what a slip 1 yarn over does is it takes the next stitch and it actually adds a hood to it, and I'll show you how that works. So for the slip 1, we want to start with the yarn in front. So if your yarn's in the back, you want to bring it to the front. So you bring the yarn to the front, you slip the next stitch, and then you're going to take the yarn over the needle. And this gives this stitch that we just slipped a little hood. This is its little hood over the top. Then the next stitch is a purl 1, and we're going to go purl 1, slip 1 yarn over, purl 1, slip 1 yarn over as we go along. The next stitch is a purl 1, so the yarn needs to be in the front. So you took the yarn over the top of the needle, and it's going to come around to the front again, and you're going to purl the next stitch. So that's a purl stitch. The next one is a slip 1 yarn over. The yarn needs to be in the front, and it already is. So you're going to take it over the top of the needle and give over the yarn already needs to be in the front. I'm sorry. So you're going to have the yarn in front. You're going to slip the next stitch, and then you're going to take the yarn over that stitch and give it a hood. And then you bring it around to the front again. So it goes all the way over the needle. There's the hood. Goes all the way over the needle and comes out to the front again. And you purl the next stitch. And I'll do that once more for you right-handers. Okay. So the yarn is already in the front. That's fine. It can stay there. You're going to slip the next stitch. You're going to take the yarn over the top of the right needle and give this stitch a hood, and you're going to bring it around to the front to get ready to purl again. That yarn split. There we go. Okay. Now for you continental knitters, you hold the yarn in your left hand and you're going to purl this stitch. And then to do a slip 1 yarn over, your yarn's already in front, so you slip the next stitch. And then you take the yarn over the right hand needle and bring it around to the front. That gives this slip stitch its hood, and you purl the next stitch. The yarn is already in the front, so you're going to slip the next stitch. You're going to take the yarn over that slipped stitch and bring it around to the front and purl the next stitch. The yarn's already in front, so you're going to slip the next stitch, take the yarn over, and bring the yarn to the front, And then the very last instruction says, it says P1, slip 1 yarn over to last stitch. So that's where I am. Then slip 1 with yarn in front. So you just slip the next stitch and the yarn stays in front here. Okay. So the next thing it says is slide. So normally when you're doing regular knitting, you would turn your work and start working. You're really only halfway done with this setup row. What you need to do is you need to take all your stitches. Here's your working yarn over here. You need to take all your stitches and slide them to the other end of the needle. Now, in order to do 2-color brioche, you really need to be using either, if it's a real small project, a DPN, double pointed needle, or you need to use a circular needle like this. You can't use straight needles because you need to do this sliding action every time you're going to change color. So we are going to change color now. This is wrong side color B. And here's my B yarn. And I'm going to use that and just pick it up. And the first instruction says slip 1 with yarn in back. Well, the yarn's in the back because the yarn's not on yet, actually. So we're going to slip 1. And when you slip, you're slipping purlwise, not knitting. When you slip knitwise, you twist the stitch. You just want to slip it purlwise. And then the next instruction says burp 1, BRP. That's brioche purl 1. All that a brioche purl stitch is it's a regular purl stitch, but what you're doing is purling together the purl stitch with its hood. We just gave it a hood on the last row. So we're taking this purl stitch and we're purling it together with its hood. So we're going to go ahead. The yarn started in the back, so we slipped 1 with the yarn in back, and now we're bringing the yarn to the front. So this yarn is actually going between these first 2 stitches. Then the brioche purl, you put it through the purl and its hood, and you purl, brioche purl, okay? And then the next says slip 1 yarn over, burp 1 to the last stitch. So this is going to be a slip 1 yarn over again. We've just done that on the last row. So your yarn is already in the front. You don't need to bring it there. It's already in the front. So you're going to slip 1 and you're going to take this dark color yarn over the light color yarn and bring it back to the front because we're going to burp. We're going to purl this next one. So this is the stitch and its hood. We're going to go ahead and put our needle into both of those and do a purl stitch. And the next one is slip 1 yarn over again. Yarn is in front. We're going to slip the next stitch and we're going to carry the yarn over that stitch to give it a hood and bring it back to the front. And we're going to purl the next stitch. I'll do that one more time and then I'll help the Continental people. So notice that when we're setting up these hoods over the stitch is one color and the hood is a different color. That's the way this is going to work from now on. That very first row, that setup row, was unusual, giving a stitch the same color hood as the stitch is. From now on, anytime we give something a hood, we're going to be giving it the opposite color, the hood. When you're 2-color brioche knitting from now on, you're never going to give a stitch a hood that's the same color. It's always going to be the opposite color. So we're going to go ahead and slip this stitch. We're going to slip 1 yarn over and bring it to the front to give it its hood. And we're here. And now, Continental folks, this is how you do things. So you're going to burp this first stitch. That's the stitch and its hood, and you're going to purl those together. The yarn is already in the front, so you're going to slip the next stitch. You're going to take the yarn over the top of that stitch to give it a hood and bring it back to the front, and then you're going to burp this next stitch and its hood together, and then you're going to bring the yarn to the front, slip the next stitch and take the yarn over the top, bring it back to the front so that you can purl the next brioche purl the next stitch. And then it says to last stitch, Slip one with yarn in front and turn. So the yarn is in front, and I'm going to slip the next one, and I'm just going to leave that hanging there. Okay, and then it says turn. So we take our work that looks like this right now, and we turn it. Both of our working yarns are going to be on the right side now, and we'll be ready to go. So the next video coming up is going to cover rows 1A and 1B. So please go to that video to continue learning how to do 2-color brioche. Thank you.